I think we're all going to end up paying about what we had been paying, maybe slightly more, maybe slightly less in some cases, but basically the economics of video just sort of even out to be what we had before. And, you're not necessarily getting a price improvement. Maybe you're getting a better product, arguably. Maybe you're getting, these streaming services, there's more control over what you're watching and how you're watching it. But you're out of pocket about the same amount. So now it's just going to be a fight between these streaming services. Are you part of this sort of mini bundle you've created for yourself, right? Netflix is probably a baseline part of that, but what's the next 2 or 3 services you tack on top of it?
Are you going to get less, but like it more, Julia? Is that the whole point here?
Well, one thing to keep in mind, Tyler, is that you can add and drop services without being locked in. So it's much more complicated to cancel your cable bill. You may be locked in at a certain discounted price for a year, but you could add HBO just before Game of Thrones starts its new season. So there is more flexibility with that. I was just talking to one of my colleagues who was talking about how she was just about to add HBO for that very reason. So there is more flexibility. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens when our parent company, NBC Universal, starts offering this new ad-supported service that's specifically for people who pay for pay TV. Is that going to make sort of people more inclined to stick with the pay TV bundle? Because if they end up paying the same amount, if they're creating their own package, they might like having that extra perk.
So, Ed, how should we think about competition and what consumers are willing to pay? I mean, has there been research done on what a total wallet might be? And so how many services can fit in that wallet? I mean, how do we think about how much a consumer is willing to spend?
I think about 4 or 5 services is sort of what a lot of studies are saying right now, that if you're paying about $10 or $12 or $13 per service, the household won't go more than 4 or 5 services. So you want to be one of the 4 or 5. And I thought what was interesting about Julia's report there was that, in these hypotheticals, it's the sports package that was like about the same or slightly cheaper. And sports has long been blamed as sort of what sort of inflated the price of cable video bills. You could sort of argue now that, actually, if you think about Netflix and Hulu, Showtime, HBO, these premium services, and with Disney coming down the line, that actually might end up costing more, despite the fact that you have some more flexibility. So with these guys, they're all fighting to be one of the 4 or 5. I think Netflix is probably in there as a sure bet, and the rest are up for grabs. And that's where Disney and AT&T, when they come out by this time next year or a little before then, they're just going to fight to be one of those slots.
Yeah, I also think
household.
a big piece of it is the navigability, and if someone just makes that easier,